Good morning and welcome to BIFA Link TV, your daily dose of industry information. This morning I'm joined by Robert Windsor, who is our Member Policy and Compliance Director here at BIFA. This episode follows on from a couple of episodes we've done recently regarding customs representation and valuation. So Robert, can you tell us a little bit more about that, please?
Yes, thank you very much, Natalie. And I think it's important, actually, if we've done something and we get questions to actually try and explain them a bit more to the members.
Sure.
Valuation is quite interesting, and it's one of the things we've raised, particularly where we've been dealing with DDP goods.
Sure.
So the BIFA member is representing a non-established party, which means the BIFA member is jointly and severally liable for the customs debt. A couple of members contacted myself about this issue, and they had concerns about the valuation that had been given on the invoices by the sender of the goods.
Sure.
Fortunately, due to this particular circumstances, they do have some protection because there's a contractual arrangement between themselves, their parent agent, and the party who supplied the goods. It comes back to the old thing. If a value looks wrong, you should ask the questions. The questions I immediately saw when I was presented with the documents by the member was, who would actually send this particular brand of luxury product, and I do emphasise it is a luxury product, to the UK valued at less than €1. Having checked online, it's quite clear that the valuation is actually at least 3 figures. Now that might not be the sale price to get it into the UK, but it should make people think about what they are actually going to base the value on. In that case, we can only guide people to go back to the originator, query it, and advise them that under UK law, a amended customs entry will be required.
Sure.
And I have to advise people that the debt based upon this product is over 6 figures.
Wow.
So we're talking big money.
Sure.
So that's the first element to it. The second element we've been noticing is on DDP shipments. Now, DDP means delivery duty paid. That invoice price should show all the costs to get the goods to the United Kingdom, customs clearance charges, delivery charges, and account for definitely duty. And some people will exclude the VAT, but in essence, you've got to look at the whole package, what you've got.
Sure.
And a couple of members sent me invoices, and the invoice said value for customs $10. There was over $1,000 of freight charges. That $10 cannot be regarded as the correct value for entry as a DDP shipment, because it obviously is much less than the freight costs.
Sure, yeah.
And so that has to be taken into account. It's important when you're dealing with these shipments, particularly for non-established entities, that you do exercise due diligence on this.
Sure. Where can members find out more information on this topic? Is there anything on our website, perhaps?
We have got some information on our website.
Sure.
In the good practice guides, there are some goods, and one of them is entitled Due Diligence Per Shipment, and that looks at the sort of things that you would have to be asking, and you also have to consider the information that's available on gov.uk.
Sure.
So there is guidance on that. Now, one thing that has cropped up quite a bit, and people overlook this, is the message that will come up in certain occasions. And actually, I've got to be honest, some people in all their life will not even see this. And that is relative to front-end checks when you do the customs entry.
Sure.
And the message, and I'll have to refer to my notes on this, is the CDS 13000 credibility valuation results. And you get a message which comes up something like this: credibility check, incredible value found, value fails credibility check as too high or low. Now, certain commodities you may actually, by their very nature. Like, for instance, you might have, and the classic example everybody uses is something like duck feathers, because it's a very volume-y shipment, and the value can be in relation to, can look completely weird. But if you actually receive this, what happens when the entry is done in CDS? You get this algorithm done, and it looks at certain data elements. It will look at the weight, the value, and the number of pieces. That combination will lead to this message being generated. And now there's a big difference between CDS and Chief, actually, and this is where part of the problem comes. Is in Chief, if you receive this message, you would not be able to proceed with customs clearance until you'd had a positive affirmation to say either yes or no. In CDS, that doesn't happen.
Right,
it doesn't inhibit the entry.
Right, okay.
But I would strongly urge anybody who receives this and, the goods been cleared, have another look at the entry. Sometimes the error is quite simply that somebody has put an additional 0 onto a value, which makes it so it's just an amendment, and you can amend it within CDS. So that's important. So our guidance is please do not ignore this. It's in your best interests to make sure that you follow them up. But this is going to be an ongoing and thorny problem. We live in a world where values can fluctuate wildly. Certain people get much bigger discount because they buy more, and there is unfortunately malpractice within certain sectors.
There's lots of variables involved.
There are a lot of variables.
Yeah.
I'm afraid the freight forwarder or customs agent is piggy in the middle, and it's very much about checking things, asking questions, and not assuming that what you're told is correct.
Sure. And we'll put a link to the best practice guide in the video's description. So for further reference, members can check out that document, as well as contact our member policy and compliance team.
Okay, just one thing, members will need their member login code.
Oh, yeah.
To actually access that.
That's right. That will be hidden behind our member portal. So if you need help with that, you can contact us at bifacons@bifa.org. Thank you very much, Robert.
Okay,
very
much,
helpful.
Matty.
That's all for today's episode of BIFA Link TV, your daily dose of industry information.